Hey guys, how's it going? Good evening. It is us again, Facebook Live, streaming live on YouTube and Twitter, and now on TikTok.
That's right.
I'm Radlin Mendoza, and this is my husband and law partner, John Gardner, and we are the attorneys at Gardner and Mendoza.
Yeah, how's everyone doing out there?
Hopefully, you guys are doing great, enjoying this nice hot weather, little heat wave that we've got going on here.
Absolutely. I got a little bit of sunburn today despite all the
John refused to wear a hat.
I wore the sunscreen, but
It's not the same. Anyway, we hope that you guys are doing well, and thank you so much for joining us. As some of you may know, and maybe some of you don't, John and I come on and we do Facebook Live. I guess it's we should just call it live streaming now because it's not just Facebook.
that's right.
We do it every Sunday. Now, we've missed a couple because of holidays, Father's Day, the 4th of July, and such, but it looks like we've got a pretty clear path for the month of July without the holidays. So we're going to give you some immigration updates today, as well as answer your immigration questions. If you guys are on TikTok and you've got some questions, and we'll be repeating ourselves throughout this, and you want to get them answered, the best way to do that is to come on our Facebook Live and put the question in the comments, and that's a better chance of us seeing it. So
That's right.
All right.
So we do it every Sunday at 8 o'clock. Hope everyone had a great 4th of July. We were not here last Sunday because it was the 4th of July. Hope you all had a great holiday. And before I forget, I also wanted to say congratulations to all of our Italian friends out there. Congratulations to Italy for winning the European Cup today. And congratulations to England, too. It was a heck of a match. 1-1 tied after 120 minutes, went to penalty kicks, and it's always kind of a crummy way for games to end. But somebody has to win in the PKs, and it was Italy this time. So congrats to both teams. For the soccer fans out there, I'm a soccer fan.
John played soccer his whole life. Pretty much.
Yes.
Even in adulthood.
Even in
the
adulthood.
over 30 soccer league, the over 40 soccer league.
And the over 50 soccer league.
And then the over 50 soccer
That was
league.
short. The over 50 was a short stint. And I apologize for those of you who are new. I'm always looking to the side here because I'm monitoring our questions that are coming from TikTok. And so I'm not doing anything else other than just looking.
He's on his phone.
Yeah,
he's always on that phone.
That's right. I'm on my phone.
You guys. All right. So I just want to quickly say, and John normally says this, is that this live stream about immigration law and updates, and we're answering your questions. We want to make sure that you guys know that this is not legal advice. You guys cannot take this as legal advice. These are legal tips. This is immigration education and information.
Correct.
But you shouldn't rely on it in order to, move forward with your immigration case. My recommendation is if this is something and it kind of triggers something, go see an immigration attorney. It doesn't have to be us. We hope it's us, but it doesn't have to be us. Go talk to an immigration attorney. I promise, with your immigration case is going to be well worth your while. All right. Even if you just make a consultation. So that's our public service announcement that this is not legal advice. We are giving you guys some immigration education and some tips, and hopefully that will help you set you in the right direction.
That's right.
And my preference and John's preference is for you to talk to an immigration attorney.
Of course.
All right.
Of course. So what we're going to do tonight, we have a few updates. We always do an inspirational story. You have a person or an organization. We're going to do that tonight very briefly. And we're going to have a couple very brief updates. I'm going to try to get everyone up to speed on what's going on with immigration reform, which is not much, but at least you'll know. And most importantly, we want to answer your questions. That's really the most important thing we do here. So as Radlin said earlier, get your questions in, get them posted, and we will try to get to them throughout the evening here. And if you're on TikTok and you want to put a question up, put it up, and I'll try to get to that as well. But I will say that we do give preference to the Facebook questions. That's really the preferred way to come through. and that we can also post them so everyone can see
Right.
them.
And we have YouTube as well. We have a streaming software called StreamYard, and it streams to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And those are the questions that we're getting in that we're actually seeing on the screen that are a lot easier for us to read and put on the screen. So thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for your support. Our live stream's been going since February of 2020. And for our TikTok friends out there, thank you guys for the follows and all of the wonderful questions. You know, if you guys want to see a whole bunch of questions, go to TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok has been a fun new addition. We've only had TikTok going here for
like 4 months.
For a few months now, but it's been a wonderful addition.
Great community. You guys are great community supporters, and we appreciate all of you guys.
Right. So with that said, let's get started. Radlin and I were really fortunate and honored to be guests on Friday night at the Hispanic Resource Center of Coastal Virginia's ribbon cutting. Congratulations to them. It was a really nice event. It was super well attended, a lot of fun. There was a lot of food.
So much food. Oh my gosh.
Great food.
It was amazing, and amazing food too. I loved all of it.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with the Hispanic Resource Center of Coastal Virginia, you really ought to check it out. A great organization. We were happy to be there. Everyone was dressed up. It was nice. It was really nice.
Well, you know, the Latinos, if they say casual, it's not casual. It's dressy. So, it was so cool. So, just a little bit of backstory. John and I, we started our law firm in the year 2000, and shortly after we started our law firm, the immigration law changed, and there was a law. It was called the Life Act, and essentially it was under Section 245I, and Latinos call it La Ley de la Multa, which is the law of the penalty. And really, that catapulted our law firm kind of into existence, because it seemed like overnight we had 300 cases, and most of our clients were Latino. So we owe a great deal to the Latino community for just coming to us, even though we were a brand new law firm, and allowing us to help them on their journey. And we have a lot of these clients still today. We're helping them with renewing their green cards. We're helping them with citizenship. They're bringing us scallops.
That's right.
We got frozen scallops.
I remember the scallops.
So, I mean, John and I totally new with regard to the business of running a law firm. And I mean, we did everything. We went out to the sites, we talked to the workers, we talked to the employers, and it was super fun. But ever since then, 2000, we've been representing proudly representing the Latino community, and we'll absolutely continue to do so. So we saw a whole bunch of our friends that we haven't seen in quite some time, absolutely like a year.
It was really cool. It was really
just
cool.
A lot of very influential people in the Latino community, and this Hispanic Resource Center is going to be. It is great. They actually just moved locations from Hampton to Virginia Beach, just right around the corner from our office.
Very close to our office.
And they're gonna just provide a lot of different services to the community. So if you've got an issue, if you got, you need some assistance with your driver privilege card, they're assisting with that. If you've got questions about how to get insurance in Virginia, they're helping with all types of issues. And that is our inspirational immigration story. Dr. Liz Torres is the founder of the Resource Center, and she also has a partner in that as well. And again, they're entrepreneurs and movers and shakers in the Latino community, Dr. Liz Torres and Fonseca Acala. And they also have it was also, launch of their new magazine, Que Pasa. And it was just super cool. It's a new bilingual magazine focused on, issues in the Latino community. All right. So congratulations again. It was fantastic.
Absolutely. A lot of fun.
You're doing the first update. Should we take a question?
Why don't we go ahead and take a question before we, the update's going to be very short.
Your update's going to be short?
It's going to be short. So maybe I should
Shorter or longer than our Hispanic resource. Well, let me grab a question.
Yeah, let's grab
let me
a
grab a
couple
question
of
real quick.
because that's what people really want to find out is get some answers to the things that they've been trying to figure out. So let's do that first.
Gotcha. Okay. So this one, Liam D, friend was granted asylum in the 80s, got a parole card with an indefinite expiration and did nothing after, but now got an unexpected interview notice. So I'm putting this question up because I don't know the answer to this, what that is. I would have to take a look at to take a look at the interview notice and see exactly what it says. It's very curious though to be getting something.
Yeah, here's a whole bunch more to it.
To be getting something, is it related to that one?
It's the same one as.
Okay.
It's interesting. It came from two different places, but this has the rest of it. I just noticed that.
Okay. Sorry. Let me put this. This is very long and it'll cover our faces, but that's okay. Serious problem. Like your thoughts on friend's father was granted asylum in the 80s and got a parole card with an indefinite expiration. Oh, okay. Parole. Unfortunately, he never did anything with it and still just has his parole card today. He's been working with authorization using his social security number to file taxes and pay all his taxes due for years, nothing under the table. He got an unexpected notice from USCIS to appear for an interview. The notice states, please come to the shown below at the date and time, please. So, guys, this is look, a couple of people have written this in, and whoever this person is has some really good friends who are really concerned about him. But when you get a notice from USCIS that says, please come to our office for an interview, it is scary, right? Like it's a little nerve-wracking, and it's something that should be definitely taken seriously. I don't know what that interview notice is for. I will say that I don't know what the interview notice is for. I mean, I have to take a look at that. I have no clue. You guys can send it over to our office. Maybe you can. Our email is info@gmlaw.net if you want us to take a look at it. But it is nerve wracking. I can definitely see just in the questions that these guys are a little bit concerned about their friend. But it's something that we would definitely be happy to take a look at. Now, I will say, I think that, when a person thinks about going to an interview after not having, they only have parole, maybe they're concerned about what's going to happen. Are they, the main concern is they're going to get deported, right? That's the main question. And I recently one of my colleagues reached out to me via email, an immigration attorney, and she said, hey, Radlin, what are they doing with people who are going in for an interview who have had a previous removal order? They've been ordered deported by the immigration judge. And I reached out to our associate attorney, Sarah, because she had recently done this, and we talked about it. Like nothing happened. So I passed this along to my colleague. She just had the interview last week. And the fear, again, even amongst the immigration attorneys who know and go, is that client's going to get picked up, right? Because they have a previous removal order, and her client did not. So hopefully that makes you feel a little bit better. But I do want you to send it over to us, info@gmlaw.net, so we can take a look at it. But thank you so much for the question. All right.
Okay. Do we want to take a question from here? We've got more here, I think.
We have a lot of questions.
Hello, how long to get rescheduled for an N400 interview? It canceled on May 27th because the file had not been received yet.
It really depends on the jurisdiction, how long it's going to take for them. I mean, they're going to put it back on the schedule once they get the file, but that's really hard for me to say how long that's actually going to take. It's May, June, July. I mean, probably a couple more months, hopefully not more than that. If you have a concern, you can certainly reach out to 1-800 customer care to try to find out more information about that. But it's hard to answer that question because there are too many moving parts and with delays and everything like that. Hopefully not much longer for you.
Right.
Why don't you give
Okay.
your update?
Yeah, if we're
I'll
waiting.
take a look at these
Yeah,
questions
you
while you're
take
doing
a look.
that.
A couple more questions coming in. So, a lot of people have been asking us about the immigration reform, and so I thought that I would just talk about that briefly. Um, Basically, what's going on is nothing. It's just something that as is currently, I don't want to say stalled. It's just that there are other things that have been sucking all the political oxygen out of the Congress right now, and immigration is not one of them. So some of the options that are ahead, there was a massive immigration bill, as you all know, well, many of you know, that had been introduced many months ago, and it not much has happened with it. There was some talk about breaking it apart, and none of that has really gone anywhere. The most recent thing that happened was a senator, two Republican senators, introduced a bill breaking off just a path to citizenship for active recipients of DACA. But folks that had been denied previously and who were unable to apply previously wouldn't be included. It would only be active DACA recipients having a path. And here's the problem that we have right now. The problem we have is that when that bill, I mean, this is just sort of a great example of the problem. That bill came out and it's pretty much dead on arrival because the folks that want a larger immigration reform say that's way too narrow. We're never going to go along with that. The hardline anti-immigration people, illegal immigration people, already said, there can be no path to citizenship for any of this, and so they're going to be opposed to it as well. And when that happens, when you have a Congress that's Democrats control the House by, I think, 4 or 5 seats. The Senate is evenly divided 50-50. Things aren't going to go anywhere when it's that tightly divided, when every bill that comes out is immediately, a no-go for certain factions. So unless somehow our Congress can figure out how to get back to meeting somewhere in the middle for a compromise, I personally am kind of discouraged about some of this. Now there is a whole nother lane out there that people have been talking about that is a possibility, and I don't want to get anyone's hopes up because I personally think it's an unlikely result. But there has been talk about trying to use the reconciliation process, and I don't want anyone to fall asleep on us right now. So I'll be very, very brief about this. But the Congress, the House, can introduce bills that deal with spending. They deal with revenue, and they deal with deficits, and they deal with spending. And if they put out a budget resolution that calls for reconciliation, then it becomes what's called a reconciliation bill, and it can get through the Senate. It's not subject to the filibuster, so it could pass the Senate with a simple majority, like other spending bills. The problem is, number one, the leaders in the Senate have not even asked the Senate parliamentarian yet to review whether immigration reform would fall properly under reconciliation. And those who have looked at it closely, including myself, think that it's a bit of a long shot to include it. I personally think when it is requested, I think that the parliamentarian is likely to say that it is not properly something that can go through as a reconciliation bill, because they'll say that immigration reform doesn't affect spending and deficits like most budget bills do significantly enough, because reconciliation is normally used for things like taxes and spending bills and deficit reduction bills, that kind of stuff. So I just think that people that are talking about reconciliation, I understand the hope there, but I think it may be getting hopes up falsely, and so I don't want people to think that. Here's what you can do, regardless of where you are on this issue. And I think most of the people here, though, want to see some kind of immigration reform. I think we all want to see big immigration reform, but some of us would be happy just to see some immigration reform.
Yeah.
And if you're in that category, the call to action I have for you is call your representative. And they, I guarantee you, are taking the pulse of the public on this issue. Okay. The congressmen and women and the senators who represent more closely divided districts, they are going to be looking very carefully to see what the temperature is on this issue with their voters. And it could tip the scale one way or the other on how they proceed. So if this is something you're passionate about, pick up the phone, call your representative, and tell them what it is that you want them
Absolutely.
to do. Okay. Because they're going to be keeping track of that. I guarantee it. All right. This may be a no brainer. I mean, if you're in Oklahoma, it's a no go. And if you're in California, we want all or nothing. But when you get into some of these more closely divided states, those districts are really going to be paying attention to the voters. Okay.
Thank you for that update.
Yeah, sure. Sorry.
Wish it were better.
Sorry, it's not better news. And I'm not, again, I don't want to say the reconciliation is impossible. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe I'll be reporting that the parliamentarian says that it can be included. But at this point, the parliamentarian hasn't even been asked to review it yet. So that's not super encouraging from my point of view.
Yes, I get all of this from you. So keep watching it.
Yeah. Hope everyone's still awake. Hope everyone's still awake. Okay.
Okay.
Snap out of it. Wake up.
Okay. We answered a question from over there. I'm gonna answer Kyle's question here. Kyle says, haven't been able to see my girlfriend in England since last year due to COVID. Would you recommend seeing her again in person before we file for the spouse visa? So, couple of questions I have, Kyle, and you can put them in the comment if you're still here. Hopefully you still are. So if she's still your girlfriend, then if you need to do the spouse visa, you would actually have to go and visit her to go get married. That's my question. The other part of this is maybe you're talking about the fiance visa. So if you're talking about the fiance visa and you saw her last year, you're fine with filing the I-129F, the fiance visa petition, because you have seen her within the last year, and it states that you have to file the fiance visa petition within 2 years of physically being together and seeing your fiance. So maybe you're talking about the fiance visa and not the spouse visa. Let me know in the comments. Hopefully that answered your question. Just let me know and we'll circle back. All right. But thanks. That's a really good question. I think that the question stems from, does it look better? Does it look better to you as CIS if we've seen each other more recently? And it's fine. You're falling within the time frame, so it doesn't matter. They're not looking at it could be 1 year and 11 months. You're still within the time period. Don't cut it that close, but you're still within the time period, so you're fine. All right. I want to say hi to a couple of people. Miss Evelina, hello. Miss Lakeisha, what's going on? Miss Bridget, God bless you too. It's like Evelina says, yes, so true. They dress up for barbecues. We dress up for barbecues too. No, we really don't.
That's right. I've got like the beach flip flops, and then I've got leather flip flops.
Yes,
the dress flip flops.
And all right.
I even call them dress flips.
He calls them dress because they're like some fake leather.
They're not fake.
They're not fake. Oh, okay.
I don't actually know.
Really splurged on
I don't know
the dress flip flops.
Okay, so we want to take a question over here. This person wants to know, how long does the National Visa Center take to review your application? I'm a citizen and my wife is in Peru.
Yeah. So National Visa Center to review, if you've submitted everything, you've submitted your affidavit of support and the taxes and the biographic page of your passport and all the stuff that they want. We're COVID, what can I say? I mean, it takes like 3-4 months for them to review all that. And if they come back with something silly like, hey, you didn't submit your tax return, upload your tax return, and you upload your tax return, just upload the tax return again. So it's like 12 weeks and possibly even more due to COVID, I'm sorry to say. But hang in there, guys. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. Well, we can call our congressperson. We can call our representative. That's another thing that we can do.
That's right.
Call your representative. I mean, if
Mhm.
if your file has been at the National Visa Center, it's been, months and months and months, contact your representative. That's what we advise our clients to do. All right, let's see here. Richard says it's my first time. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for
welcome
joining.
All right. You want to take another question?
Yeah, I got one here.
Oh, you got one. Okay.
How long does it normally take? This is from Evelina. How long does it normally take for the swearing in letter after you pass the test? So, did we not ask the question when mom left the interview? Come on. What? I'm just kidding. All right. So, it really, I can't answer that question. It really depends on their schedule at the time. They've been going so fast on these N400s in Norfolk that they could have a little bit of a backlog with their swearing in, because I believe they're still swearing in 12 people at a time, all day long on certain days. So, I believe that it could take a couple months, but it could be longer than that depending on what their scheduling is. But we are seeing Norfolk USCIS go super fast on N400s with some of our cases. So for those of you guys who are out there thinking about filing for the N400, file that thing, file the N400. Miss Evelina can attest that with her mom, it went really fast. We just got some interview notices. We filed them 3 months ago, and they're already getting ready to go for interview. 3-4 months. So that's awesome. That's awesome. And sometimes there are pockets of time when that actually happens. It happened in Denver with one of our clients where she got an interview notice in 3 months. It happened in Norfolk. So please go ahead and file your N400s if you're eligible and you're ready to do it. Well, even if you're not ready to do it, file it. Thanks for the question,
Yeah,
Miss Evelina. Thank you always for coming on our Facebook Live.
Yeah, we've got a lot of timing questions tonight.
Okay.
This person wants to know that he or she is from California, and how long does it take for a fiance visa, Chinese citizen but living in South Korea, and the other person is here in California?
So for a fiance visa?
Yep, fiance visa. So I guess
Okay.
they're here. Yeah. Fiance is a Chinese citizen living in Korea.
Okay. So I can't give U.S. Embassy timeframes right now because a lot of them are, some of them have, very reduced hours, and we have no idea what they're scheduling. But what I can tell you is it takes about 4 months to, well, no, so hold on a second. The last time I checked was probably a couple of weeks ago. It's taken about 6 to 8. Well, you know what? Sorry. I'm thinking it's like 4 to 6 months for the I-129F petition. So filing the fiance visa petition, it's not super long to get an approval for the fiance visa position. It's like 4 or 5, 6 months. Okay. But after that approval, it still then needs to go to the National Visa Center. Okay. That's 60 days to transfer that, about 60 days. And then after the NVC, when you do everything there, which again, it's not tons of stuff, it's completing the DS-160. Then, you got to get scheduled for the interview, your medical and all that. That's where the delay is happening. So I can't give like how long for the whole process, but if you take a look at I-129F processing times, it's about 4 to 6 months. Recently, I did a TikTok about how to check processing times for certain files, for certain types of petitions. All you have to do is put in the petition number or the form number, and the filing times, processing times will pop up. So before, maybe while you're giving another update, I can look that up, but probably not, because then I have to open up another window. I don't want to lose the screen. But it's about 4 to 6 months the last time I checked for the I-129F. Only a lot of people need to realize that the fiance visa is longer than just filing that petition and getting it approved. All right, Robin has a good question here. My I-131 is still pending. Green card was approved. Congratulations. Yay. Awesome. Should I withdraw my I-131? Just want to clarify. So, if the I-131 was just a part of your adjustment of status application for, I'm not for your case, then you don't have to do anything once the green card is approved. They're going to just, not approve those, and it'll work itself out. But if it's something that you filed that was not part of the green card process somehow, then yeah, you should go ahead and withdraw it. But if it was a part of the package of your I-45, your I-131, your I-765, if you did an I-130, then you don't have to do anything about that. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah. So this question I'm not sure. We might need some clarification. Rowdy Nurse wants to know, can a mother that is a citizen still apply for citizenship for her son that is an adult? And I don't know if she means apply for citizenship, whether she's using that loosely, whether she means some sort of adjustment.
Right. So maybe Rowdy Nurse, and I like your username, by the way, Rowdy Nurse.
I agree.
Do we want a rowdy nurse when we have a nurse?
Yeah.
Yeah. We want someone kind of rowdy, fun in the. Anyway, all right.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to take a stab and say that the question is whether son can derive U.S. citizenship from mom, even though he is over the age of 18.
Right.
We would have to know a lot more information. Actual date of birth. When did she get her citizenship? Did she? There's a lot there with regard to deriving citizenship. So, shoot me a DM, direct message through TikTok, or again, email those. Maybe you don't want to do it through DM. Email those the dates of birth and date you got your U.S. citizenship to info@gmlaw.net. Yeah, right. And we'll take a look at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, here's a good question. Another timing question, because
it's all timing tonight.
Timing is tough here. But Eric, how's it going, Eric? I love what you did to the yard. You guys are doing a great job. I see you on Facebook. He says, filed for change of status for my wife after getting married in the U.S. June 2020, when she got stuck here during the pandemic on a tourist visa, which ruined our wedding plans in her home country. We filed an I-130, 485, 765, I-131. It was received by USCIS August 24th, 2020, but we have gotten nothing so far. You got the receipt notices. We finally got an appointment for biometrics. Wow. July 2021. That's crazy. Is everything taking this long, or should we be worried about our case? You should not be worried about your case. Things are, the processing times are all over the place. I mean, they really are. And I'm trying to think. We had a case that took a really long time to get biometrics as well, which, we did worry about it because it was taking a lot longer than some of our other cases. It just is one of those things, guys. Sometimes things move at the pace that you're expecting based on your experience. But this year, you filed June 2020, has just been really weird and strange. So Eric, don't worry about it. Okay, I know that's easier said than done. I think that one of our colleagues, really good colleagues, represents you. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but she's a great attorney, and you absolutely have nothing to worry about. Things are just all over the place. So sit tight. The good news is you guys are together. It looks like you guys are having a great time. I see you, like I said, I see you on Facebook. I love seeing you guys on Facebook, and I love your story, and I love everything that you guys are doing. So just hang in there.
Yep. Okay, here's kind of a maybe a broad question, but hopefully you can shed some light on it. She says, my husband is filing for me and my daughter. Do I need to put in all the same information? So I think what she's asking is, since they're applying for both of them, can they just put all the information in once for both of them, or do they need to do everything separately for her and for the daughter?
Depends on if the husband is a lawful permanent resident or a U.S. citizen.
All right.
So this is this is very kind of strange that if you're a lawful permanent resident, you petition for your spouse. Your the child can go on the I-130 petition. If you're a U.S. citizen, you have to file 2 separate petitions. So let's just assume the spouse is a U.S. citizen. That's not usually the case, but that's what we usually see. Then you have to file an I-130 petition for your spouse and for your child as separate. All right. So this is a good question. This is a big, long question. I like how just the tops of our heads are showing on these.
Yeah.
I see you guys still, though. All right. Richard says, will you read it?
He says, hi, I have a plan to immediately bring my son from Haiti to the state due to political circumstances. I just started filing an I-130, but it will take from 6 to 8 years because he is 25 years old. I am thinking to bring him on his B2 visa and then apply for asylum or anything else. I basically don't want to make any mistake and then later on may regret it. I just assumed that we may have different or better options available. As you're a lawyer, what would be the best recommendation if I want to bring him here? I filled in the end there.
Yeah, good question, Richard. Thank you for that question. We hear the concern in your question about your son. John and I have 3 kids. We do anything for them to keep them safe. So we definitely understand the concern that you have. The issue again here, it could be that, if your son, he's 25, if he's applying for a B2 visa, and I don't know, maybe he already has his visa, but assuming he does not have his visa, if he makes a misrepresentation as to his intent in coming to the United States, that can be really risky for him as far as any type of future applications, because he's then making a material misrepresentation on his B1, B2 visa application. So I would tread very carefully with the plan. Feel free, and this is a case again. I think you should make a consultation. You can make it with us, or you can make it if you're not local. Talk to an attorney. As you said, there are different ways to do this, and your plan may not be the best one just because of the intent issue. I would just be super, super careful about that. And as far as asylum is concerned, John and I, we have a really good mentor with asylum. He does all of our asylum cases and removal cases, Attorney Haynes, and I'm of counsel to his law firm, and he was of counsel to our law firm for a really long time before, some insurance stuff, and it was better to be without. But he handles all of our asylum, and so please reach out to us if you want that type of consultation, because we'll definitely be able to help you and point you in the right direction and guide you.
Yeah, and thank you for that question. For those of you who don't know, things are very politically intense in Haiti right now.
Yeah.
And so we'll I'll try to keep monitoring that. And if we have any updates on anything that may be unfolding as a result of what happened in Haiti, we'll make sure to update everyone on that.
Right.
Okay.
For people who are coming after and not eligible to do TPS
right
now because they're not making the date, but if anything changes with that. All right.
Okay, general question. Somebody wanted to know if you have a work permit that has expired, is there any way to renew it?
It depends on what it's based on.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's based on a marriage-based case, then yeah, you can renew it. You don't even have to pay a filing fee. So yeah, it depends on. We need more information about that, but it depends.
And I apologize. A lot of the questions, and I understand TikTok is a different format. That's really one of the reasons that we prefer the questions coming in with the Facebook, TikTok questions are often very terse and missing a lot of the details.
I think
that
you
we
could
need
only
to really
type in a certain amount of
it's harder to get those questions
characters.
to fill in some of the
Yeah.
details. We can get the details when the questions come through Facebook. All right.
All right, let's see here. Okay, Eric, he thinks that maybe we answered the question, because you're welcome. You're very welcome, Eric.
Great.
We love it when you come on.
Great.
All right. Let me see here. I want to make sure we're not
Yeah.
missing any live stream here. Questions. Good evening, Miss Lovely. Thank you so much for joining again. We appreciate it.
Oh, here's one.
It's Lakeisha. You haven't filed that yet? Come on. I'm just messing with you. How are you? How are you? How are you? Okay. So when I submit my photos for I-129F, do they need to be timestamped? No, they do not. How will they validate the photos I include in my packet? So photos. So just on your 2 passport photos, wait a minute. Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I'm reading this question incorrectly. Photos to show that you've seen each other within the past 2 years. Got it. Like it's getting dark. Like the sun is just setting on us right now. So you don't have to you do not have to timestamp it. Just put on the back of it. You can write on the back of it or the front of it, just who's in the photo, when the photo was taken, where the photo was taken, and you can just write that on the photo. Hope that helps. I know you've got like one photo, so it's not going to be that hard. I'm just messing with Miss Lakeisha now. All right, she's a good sport though. Okay. Richard says he has a B2. Okay. Son already has a B2, so he's not going to have to make any kind of representation at the. This question is going back to, hey, I want to get my son out of Haiti. Things are difficult over there, and this is my plan. I want to do file the I-130. So it's essentially my tip is still the same, just because when you're coming on the B1, B2 visa, if you're asked a question, the purpose of your visit, and you say what the purpose of your visit is. And again, I'm going to say this is a long shot, but we've seen bad things happen at the airport. And then you can make a note of what you said. And then that could come back to haunt your son later on. If it's not exactly what happened, but not even within the realm of what was supposed to happen. So, all right.
All right, we have another pretty open-ended question here, but one that we could try to answer. They want to know, right now, they're eligible to apply for citizenship. Approximately how long is it taking if they were to apply right now, start to finish? Do you have a ballpark?
So the answer to that question is you have to take a look at processing times on USCIS website. So I have a TikTok, and I know I have a lot of TikToks. For the live stream Facebook fans, go check out the TikTok. I've been having fun making it, but it shows you how to check the processing times. But I'll really quickly tell you guys, just Google USCIS case processing times. Make sure that you're at the USCIS.gov website when you go to wherever you're going, and then it's going to have like a page where you type in your form number, or you type the little arrow, and it shows all the forms. And you type in N400, and then you type in where your city is, where you're going to ultimately take your interview. Did they say what city or no? No city. Okay. So let's just say it's Norfolk, Virginia. Okay. Or, San Diego, California. You put that in, and then it will spit out the processing time for that particular field office where you're going to do the interview. So go check that out, or you can just Google it and it'll pop up and you can see the processing times. Now, the caveat about that is that it's not always accurate. Okay. It's not always on point. When I see the processing times on USCIS, they're almost always longer than what we experience. So That's good. That's good news, right? It's like,
Absolutely. Yeah. When does that ever happen?
it's, you know, under promising, over
Yeah,
delivering.
I know, right?
So that's a tip that I would have for you guys. You
Yeah.
know what? I do actually do have a couple of really quick immigration updates now that I think about it.
All right.
This is an update on DACA, new DACA filings, and we've had some appointments recently and people who have retained us to help them file initial DACA. And the Arizona Mirror newspaper reported that between January and March, almost 50,000 people sent first-time DACA applications to Immigration Service. And just 763 or 1.5% were approved. And now there is a backlog of over 55,000 initial DACA applications. So, guys, when John and I say, what do we say?
Get your stuff filed, because the sooner you get in the line, the sooner you get out of the line.
Yes, that is our that we just say that over and over again, right? The drum is a drum beat.
Mhm.
Yes, that's our drum beat. And so that's not good news. I mean, that's not good news for new initial DACA filings that only 1.5% have gotten approved. That's terrible. All right. And then really quickly, Department of Homeland Security announced an 18-month extension and redesignation of Yemen for temporary protected status.
Mm.
So we've got Yemen right now, we've got Haiti, we've got Venezuela, we've got Burma. So all those countries right now is open registration for temporary protected status. Okay.
All right.
I got a question here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the question is. Merle, thanks for the question. My question is, if the petitioner died and the wife is still here, can the adult children still be able to come here? What will be the process for this? So if the petitioner died and the spouse is here, but maybe the spouse did not get the green card yet, the spouse, of course, can file the I-360 for widow. And the other question, I'm not really sure. Really, if you can, the process. Okay, she's asking about the process if the adult children can still come to the United States. So I would need to know what is the status of the spouse in order to better answer that question. So if you want to throw that up there, then I'll be happy to try to answer it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, how about this? I plan to go back to the Philippines without the result of my I-539 extension. Do you know if I can come back into the U.S.?
Oh, sorry. Can you repeat that question?
You were still thinking about the last question.
I was thinking about the last question.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Hold on one second.
Okay, before we get back to your TikTok question.
Okay, going back to Merle's, because see, I saw it pop up. Mom is U.S. citizen. Who filed so maybe it sounds like the petitioner passed away and filed a petition for the adult children, and then the petitioner passed away. Mom is a U.S. citizen. There could be a humanitarian reinstatement here, if that's the question. If the question is, if a petitioner passes away, can the children still immigrate to the United States, even if the petitioner has passed away, if that petitioner filed the I-130 petitions for the children? And the answer is possibly humanitarian reinstatement could come into play here. And we'd have to take a look at that. The number one question that we would have is, what were the I-130 petitions approved before the petitioner died? So you can reach out to us. We handle humanitarian reinstatement cases, and they are very lengthy, They're frustrating to work with, but they are very rewarding in the end for everybody involved, including for us as a team, as a law firm. We love seeing humanitarian reinstatement cases. I think it's just because it takes so long to get it done, and then once the beneficiaries are here in the United States after they thought
it's an amazing result,
right? After they thought all hope was lost, it's a great feeling. But I'm not sure, Ms. Murley, if that's your question, but if it is, we can help with humanitarian reinstatement. All right. What else do we have today?
Okay, so getting back to this question.
Oh, yes. Thank you. I'm not even in frame.
So I plan to go back to the Philippines without the result of my I-539 extension. Will I be able to come back into the U.S., or do you know if I will be able to come back into the U.S.?
Gotcha. It sounds like person has maybe filed a B1, B2 extension. Yes, so you should be able to come back into the United States. When you leave the I-539, I mean, that happens. It takes a long time for the I-539 to get approved sometimes, and by the time it gets approved, the person has already done whatever they needed to do the extension for the B1, B2 extension, and they've already left. So there's no reason you shouldn't be able to come back into the United States on your existing B1, B2 tourist visa. You just have to explain why you needed that extension of time. Okay. And be able to articulate that at your port of entry when you come in. So good luck, and safe travels.
And you just answered the next question in your answer just now, because somebody else had the same question but wanted to know if the B1, B2 visa would be canceled.
I mean, was there a reason for them to cancel it? I mean,
just from exiting the country.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be canceled just for exiting the country. No. I've seen, and this was not my client.
You heard that, right? You have to answer your question. I want to exit. Will exit the United States. My extension is still pending. Will my B1, B2 visa get canceled? And the answer was
no, it shouldn't be. There's not just because you exited the country because you didn't need to stay any longer. No, it shouldn't. Nope. Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's see here. We have a question from Robin.
Hi, Robin.
Robin's been active today. Thank you so much for the questions and helping out with some of the answers. You're providing a lot of insight to the people in our comments. So Aunt filed an I-129 with a waiver request for the meeting requirement because they're unable to travel for health reasons. Do you think the processing will take longer due to the waiver? So Robin, we've never filed a waiver for the meeting requirement. So I can't answer that question. I apologize about that. But as I like to say, I don't know everything, but we can learn everything.
Yeah, that's right.
So I don't know. I mean, I thought the waiver was only for religious reasons, but I could be totally wrong about that. We've never had to file a waiver request for the in-person meeting requirement. What Robin is talking about is that when you file a fiance visa petition, one of the requirements is that you have to have seen the fiance within 2 years of filing that petition. And the question is, can we waive it? The question is, I have the question now. I'm going to go look it up as soon as we get off. But can we waive the the seeing each other in person requirement for health reasons? Don't think I've heard of that before, but that doesn't mean anything. I haven't heard of a lot of things. So anyhow, Robin, if you want to send us an email, info@gmlaw.net, I'll email you back. I assure you, in 7 minutes, I'm going to look up the answer to that question because I am curious.
Yeah. Okay, how about this? I just got my citizenship, and my son is still on a green card. Is there any way that he can get citizenship faster? I assume that she means that because of the fact that mom is now a citizen.
Yeah, mom. It depends on how old he is. If mom became a citizen prior to the age of 18, yes, son is most likely derived U.S. citizenship. And if those are the facts and that is the case, then need to go and file a U.S. passport for your son. as well. Well, you don't have to do this, but I recommend it is to complete and file the certificate of citizenship application, the N600, if your son falls under that category of under 18 prior to your naturalization. So
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's
son
awesome.
under 18, not you getting your citizenship.
Yeah, son under 18, right.
The son being under 18, that could have been interpreted two ways. Okay.
All right. Okay, so Armando, with the Form I-130 travel document, that's advanced parole. Is it safe to travel out of the country if you're in the process for permanent resident? So Armando, I think advanced parole is, I mean, it is one thing that I'm always kind of nervous about, right? But I'm definitely in the minority. I hate it when my clients travel on advanced parole if they've been out of status but they're applying to get their green card through an immediate relative petition. But it's totally fine. It should be fine. Armando, I would like to know more facts about your case before giving you this answer. Just because it is very it's, I'm not going to say risky because I don't know if it's risky because I don't know all the facts of your case. But my clients have traveled on advanced parole. If they've been, I'm assuming maybe the question is, well, I don't know what the question is, but if you're in status, if you're out of status, can you travel on advanced parole? If you have an immediate relative petition filed for you, the answer is maybe. Sometimes I advise my clients not to. In fact, I always tell my clients who are out of status when we're filing the petition, the immigrant visa petition and green card application, not to travel. And I tell them not to travel until they've got their green card. Other attorneys are going to disagree with us. We're a little bit more conservative. We don't really like to, take unnecessary risks just in case. So hopefully that answers your question, Armando. Probably is just like, oh, bummer. I didn't get a black and white answer. But Armando, if you want to talk more about that, please send us an email at info@gmlaw.net. info@gmlaw.net. All right. That was a really good question, though.
Yep. And Raro here wants to know, is it best to use a lawyer to file for a green card with a K-1 visa? The answer to that is yes. It is best to use a lawyer. You don't have to use a lawyer, and you may not be able to use a lawyer. But with most things, if you can hire an expert in the field, in this case, that would be an immigration lawyer, then yes, absolutely, that would be your best route.
Yep. Short and sweet and true. And the reason is because we do it routinely. And don't you want somebody to bug for the next 18 months about your case, right? Like, if anything, just somebody to say, why is it taking so long? Why is it taking long? Why is it taking long? So when you file the green card takes a long when it's a fiance visa petition. It just does. I don't know why, but it's longer processing times than if we're marriage-based adjustment of status. So it's a long journey, and it's nice to have. It's not just nice, but sometimes it's critical to have somebody on your side. I can think of multiple occasions where things. Anyway, we're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
I agree, John.
Yeah. I mean, the thing
definitely.
is, us, for example, we've been doing this for over 20 years. And so the odds of something happening in your case that we haven't seen before is almost zero, because when you do case after case, you just see it all, and you really know what to expect, and you know what to do to fix it. And so, as I said, if you can hire a lawyer, it doesn't have to be us, but if you can hire counsel, you absolutely should.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I don't have any questions on any further questions on the live stream.
Yeah, we've got just about a minute left here.
And I'm just making sure here. Shout out to Ria, our VA in the Philippines. She's here with us and helping us with the questions. Ria, if you see a question that you don't think that we've answered, let us know. Sometimes we go back to our comments, I'm like, oh, bummer. How did we miss that?
Yeah, well, here's a pretty basic one that I think will be a perfect finish for the evening. Recently became a citizen, and I want to petition my spouse. She came with a B1, B2 visa, but she overstayed. What can we do?
You can call me and we'll get her green card.
Yeah, that's right.
How's that?
That's what happens after we've been at this for,
Yeah.
after she's been answering questions for almost an hour.
Call me and we can get her a green card. We got you. All right.
Yes.
In all seriousness, I have a couple of TikTok videos on this, but yes, you can file. Most likely, I'm going to say most likely. I don't know all the facts of the case. I'm gonna say you can file. Generally speaking, again, this is general immigration information, and it's not legal advice,
right?
because I don't know, right? Like, what if this person's spouse, did he say spouse or girlfriend or
Spouse.
spouse?
Yeah, spouse.
Spouse. All right. Well, what if this person's spouse, right? What if they went to go apply for a B1, B2, and on the application they lied and they said they didn't have a spouse in the United States. All right. And they got that. My advice, maybe, information might be different. So
Right.
I just don't know. Like, I have no idea.
But assuming the only problem in your mind is that your spouse overstayed, and that's what you're concerned about. If that's the only concern, then that's something that we can certainly deal with.
Absolutely. Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure. If overstay is the only concern and we don't have any of the other stuff, we can deal with the other stuff with things, remedies and things like that. But yes, generally speaking, even if a person has overstayed on their B1, B2 tourist visa, and if they are married to a US citizen, then that US citizen can file a petition for them. That person can file the green card application. All of this stuff has to be filed together. It's on a video, and there are a lot of videos on there. You have to just watch all of them to find it.
Yeah. All right, gang, we're past an hour. For those of you who had questions that we didn't get to you, we apologize. We'll try again next week. If you get here right at 8 o'clock and get your question in quickly, especially if you get it on Facebook. If you put your question on Facebook and you do it anytime during our presentation, you're going to have it answered. All right. For those of you on TikTok, try to get started early. The sooner you get your question in, the more likely we are to get it.
Or you can send questions. You can send questions to info@gmlaw.net. The only negative side of sending a question to us at info@gmlaw.net is you're going to get our newsletter. And, we might be bugging like, hey, do you want to be our client? That kind of stuff.
Right.
But info@gmlaw.net is a way to contact us. If you have a question and you want us to answer it on our weekly Sundays, info@gmlaw.net is the best way for us to see that. And we will answer that question. That's going to take priority. And if you want to make an appointment with us, it's you can call us 757-464-9224. And you can email us at info@gmlaw.net. And then you can also send a direct message.
Check out, you can get information at our website, gardnerandmendoza.com. If you want to just explore some information, go to our Facebook page as well. There's all kinds of information there. Okay.
Right. And in our live streams and our videos on TikTok, it's really our way of giving back to the community that has given so much to us, right? To what is the quote? To we've been given a lot, so we also want to give back. There's a much more eloquent quote on that. But so we appreciate you guys being here. We appreciate you hanging out with us and asking
I think
all
it's
these.
To whom much is given, much is expected, but that's a slightly different quote. But
Same concept.
Absolutely.
But all right, guys. Anyhow, for those of you who had some follow-up questions that we couldn't answer, and that we said to email us, please email us because we will get back to you. info@gmlaw.net. All right.
All right. And we will see you back here next Sunday, 8 o'clock. Join
Eastern
us.
Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time. Join us to get your immigration updates, other legal updates, and all your questions answered. Okay. Have a great, great night, everyone, and have a great week. All right.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs
2
up.
thumbs up, guys. All right.
thumbs up.
Take
Take
care.
care.
Have a great night. Bye-bye.